Well, Arn will continue through here some of this card. I want to go over some of the highlights of it because the next match from that card I want to talk about. Ric Flair takes on a mystery opponent. It's managed by Colonel Robert Parker himself, and Parker had been teasing for several weeks this mystery opponent. The man under a hood attacked Flair on WCW Saturday Night, left him laying. Turned out the mystery opponent, none other than Barry Windham. Windham left WCW the year before after not having a longer run with the world title as the mystery opponent. And this is not one of their classics from the 80s, but instead it went 10 minutes. Flair defeats Barry with the crossbody from the top rope. No bullshit, Arn. Flair off the top for the win here. We haven't said that much on this show. This will be the last time Barry is in WCW for 4 years as he blew his knee out in the match. And that probably explains why the ending after 10 minutes.
Oh, he blew his knee out that night?
He sure did. Yep.
I don't remember that either.
Yeah. So there you go. That's an interesting one. And then I want to talk about the match of the night, at least according to the readers of the Observer. Cactus Jack and my buddy, your friend, Kevin Sullivan, defeated the Nasty Boys in a Philadelphia street fight that night. And before we get to the match, Double A, the Devil is back on television, subbing for an injured Max Payne in this one. So there you go. Talk about Kevin Sullivan, because, man, I know that you knew him from your run in Jim Crockett Promotions. But here in 94, he's working on the creative team, and he'll be the booker soon in a couple of months. How much fun was it to work with Kevin Sullivan?
If you've ever talked sports with Kevin Sullivan, you realize how brilliant he is.
He's a genius, man. He asks me questions about stuff, and I am so lost. He knows it all.
Days, dates, times, inside stuff that you would never remember about any kind of sport you want to talk about. The guy's brilliant. And, he's brilliant as far as wrestling angles and wrestling in general. And, when you come up and you go through the Dusty Rhodes system and you go through the Graham system of doing stuff like they did in Florida, Kevin was there for a lot of that. And you learned how to build a foundation and build a company and build your stars. And he's just a really brilliant guy. I love Kevin. Kevin and I were friends when I started helping in the office when Rick was the booker, and then Rick left, and it was Kevin kind of stepped into that role. I was like going to the office with him and helping him during the week, and you really see the inside workings of just how smart he really was. And we'd go to the office every day and go to Gold's Gym right after the office day was over, and then we'd have a couple of beers, and it was a good time. I had a really good time spending with Kevin.
I always know how to get a smile out of him or really make him happy, and it's on the show, and it's just by mentioning or bringing you up or mentioning your name. So he's a big fan of yours, Arn, and it always makes him happy when I talk about Arn Anderson on our show that we do.
Well, I'm a big fan of his too, and I really enjoyed that time that we had together. I really did.
He had a slugfest match here. There were potatoes and live rounds galore.
I can imagine. Good Lord. I was going to ask if anybody lived.
The Philly, and they're in Philly. I mean, come on. This match included special enforcer hockey legend Dave the Hammer Schultz. Cactus and Sullivan would win. They beat the Nasties and took the titles off of them after Max Payne hit Sags with a guitar. Cactus breaks a hockey stick over Knobs' back. It was a shit show, but it was a fun shit show. Watching them all beat the hell out of each other, as you would expect in a match like that.
It didn't hurt having Dave Schultz, who's legendary in that town and legendary in hockey in the area. I'm sure it didn't hurt.
Not at all.